Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder what makes us click with technology, or even click with each other? Today we're diving into how our personalities might be shaping how we trust and rely on those super smart AI chatbots we're all using. So, big question for researchers, do our personality traits influence how much we trust and depend on AI chatbots, especially the really advanced ones like ChatGPT? This paper did a massive deep dive looking at over 60 studies to figure this out. They're trying to understand if some of us are just naturally more likely to trust AI, and if so, why? Think about it. These AI tools are getting smarter and making decisions that affect our lives in areas like healthcare and finance. So knowing who relies on them too much or too little is super important. The problem is, these AI chatbots are designed to sound really human, but they don't actually have human understanding. Plus, they don't always give us good clues when they're unsure about something, which can be tricky because we're used to picking up on those cues from other people. This is where personality comes in. Psychologists have this well-tested model called the Big Five personality traits. Think of it like openness, conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. These are pretty stable ways we tend to think, feel, and act. This research wanted to see if these traits affect how we interact with AI. So how did they do this? They basically went on a scientific treasure hunt, reviewing 60 different studies. Some of these looked specifically at the latest AI chatbots, while others looked at older forms of automation. They used a special method to gather and organize all this information, kind of like a big puzzle where they're looking for patterns. They weren't doing new experiments themselves, but rather organizing what others had found. Now, for the juicy part, what did they find? This is a big one. If you tend to be more neurotic or anxious, you might be more likely to over-rely on AI chatbots. The researchers think this happens because when you are feeling stressed or overwhelmed, AI can feel like a way to offload some of that mental burden. It's like saying, I can't handle this, let the AI do it. This can lead to depending on it too much, especially when you're feeling anxious. Studies showed that higher neuroticism or anxiety was linked to more over-reliance and dependence on AI. What about agreeableness, being generally nice and cooperative? Well, it turns out people who are more agreeable tend to have more positive feelings about AI and are more easily persuaded by what AI tells them. This is especially true if the AI is designed to act more human-like. But interestingly, this doesn't automatically mean they'll get into trouble by depending on it too much. They might just be more open to suggestions from the AI. People who are more open to new experiences and ideas, those who are curious and like trying new things, tend to adopt AI more readily and have positive attitudes towards it. They trust it more. But the studies didn't find that this openness necessarily leads to over-reliance. So, being curious about AI doesn't mean you'll blindly follow it. Conscientiousness, those who are organized and disciplined, had mixed results. Sometimes it helped people use AI, sometimes it made them more cautious. Extraversion, being outgoing and sociable, had a small effect mostly related to initial trust. Here is another key finding. While broad personality traits are important, there are closer factors that predict how much we rely on AI. One is our general tendency to trust things. We can call this a propensity to trust. If you tend to trust things more in general, you're more likely to trust AI. Also, how the AI explains things and how it tells us when it is uncertain are super important. These system features seem to have a more immediate impact on our reliance than our personality traits alone. And that human-like design or anthropomorphism, it's not always a magic bullet. It influences trust, but it depends on the situation and our personality. Based on all this, the researchers suggest a new way to think about this, called the Personality Trust Calibration Framework. It's like a map showing how our personality traits, the big picture stuff, influence our immediate reactions and decisions when dealing with AI, and how the AI's design and the situation itself act as boundaries or conditions. They even extend this to AIs that can actually do things, not just give advice. In those cases, the danger shifts from just over-relying on advice to over-delegating the actual task. Imagine telling an AI to book your flight and it messes up. That's over-delegation. So, what does this all mean for us? If you're someone who tends to worry a lot or feel anxious, you might be more prone to over-relying on AI. This doesn't mean you should stop using AI, but it's a good reminder to pause and think critically. Maybe have some extra checks in place before accepting what the AI says, especially for important decisions, for those of you who are very agreeable. Be mindful that AI can be designed to be very persuasive, so stay aware of that. The researchers also suggest that AI designers should be more aware of these personality differences. Instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, maybe AI can be designed with subtle cues or checks that help different types of people use it more appropriately. For example, if an AI detects you might be experiencing high cognitive load or anxiety, It could offer extra prompts to double-check information. This brings up some interesting ethical points. While it's tempting to tailor AI experiences to our personalities, we need to be careful not to create systems that exploit our traits for persuasion or manipulation. The authors stress that universal safeguards like clear explanations and source display should be the default for everyone, avoiding the need for constant personality profiling. Now, it's important to remember that this is a review of existing studies, not a single new experiment, so there is still a lot we don't know. Many studies were based on surveys, and we need more research where people actually do things with AI and we measure their behavior. Also, a lot of the studies were done in Western countries. So we don't know if these personality links hold true everywhere in the world. And as AI gets more autonomous, we really need to study how our personalities affect how much we delegate tasks to them. So the big takeaway is that our personalities absolutely play a role in how we interact with AI. Knowing your own tendencies, whether you're more anxious, more trusting, or more open, can help you use these powerful tools more wisely. And for the people building these AIs, understanding human personality is key to creating safer and more helpful technology for everyone. What do you think? Do you find yourself relying on AI more based on your personality? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more science stories, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching and stay curious.